Yeah, it's been posted. Now, let me show you where you can see your grade. Actually, I on my end, I have posted the grades. Let me see if we can have a quick review of that. Actually, that's a very good idea. So, here you see my screen. I want to make a full screen. Okay, so what I see on my end is basically. Oh, first of all, for those who are not yet in our MS team, is there anybody that is not yet a member of our group? Let me know. Let's just start a poll. Are you? The question is, are you in MS Teams? This is the question. Now the poll is coming. This is the question.
Sorry, sir. One more question. For future quizzes, where can I find them? Because
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show it to you. Don't worry, Vitaly.
I clicked on the Blackboard and it's just not there. It's just Quiz Zero and Academic Integrity. That's it.
When did you click, by the way? Was it in that 24-hour window from Sunday 1 p.m. To Monday 1 p.m. EST time?
Oh, I don't think I did. Okay, I see the problem. Okay, that's my bad then. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
The quizzes are always available in this time window from Sunday 1 p.m. to Monday 1 p.m. Before that and after that, if you go to documents, course documents, you will not see that. And
So next Sunday,
yes,
there'll be another quiz. Okay, yeah,
exactly,
sounds
exactly.
good.
Next Sunday will be you. You obviously missed the first one, but next Sunday it's fine. Next Sunday you will see the second quiz. Okay, I see. Well, first of all, thank you so much. I see a lot of eager students here, which motivates me much more. That's wonderful. Still, I see Nikhil.
Can you repeat the question? I
Yeah,
couldn't hear it properly the first time. Like for the
pardon
pool,
me. Pardon me, Sanjan. What did you say?
can you repeat the question for the pool? I couldn't hear it well the first time.
Uh, you you see for first time. You said no. Is this a is this a correct answer? You're not in Microsoft Teams.
No, I am there.
You're there. Okay, I see two people not there. Arshdeep and Nikhil. Nikhil, I remember is, is this no a correct no? Arshdeep, I remember both of you joining the group. Please, Arshdeep and Nikhil. If you're not, please go ahead and uh, go ahead and click on the link and become a member. All right, the rest of us are good with this. Uh, and here I'm gonna show you first when you can find the video for our lectures. So every time we are recording the session, it takes 5 to 10 minutes after ending the session to appear here. So you see, this is the link for the first video. The second one will appear here, like 10 to 15 minutes. Sometimes it takes, depending on the server tasks, how busy the server is. You will see the video here. I'm also sharing a link because I'm also locally recording this to make sure that we don't miss anything. And for the that local version, I'm uploading on YouTube, and I'm putting the link. So if you have not seen that link yet, please go and
Sir,
check. Yes,
we can't see
Screen
anything.
sharing is stopped.
you don't see my screen?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. That's why mics are useful. Anytime you can let me know what's wrong and what's not working or what you have in mind. Here, do you see it now?
Yeah, that's good, sir.
All right. So I just clicked on join class, and here when you say, let me close this too. Here when you say launch, you see the link here, and you will see the second link today when our class finishes. And as I said on Microsoft Teams, I'm also putting the link there for quizzes and for course documents. You know where to go. On my end, if you look at, well, obviously on your end, I guess you have to go to my grades. Let me see. If I change it to student preview and go to my grades, will I be able to see anything? I will not, but you should be able, because my student account is not a real account. It's just a preview of what students can see. But here, when I go to grades and go to grade center, I can see things here. I'm just showing it fast. Quiz 1 has been graded, and activity 1 also has been graded. So the rest should be, you should be able to see your grade, basically. That's what I want to say. Sanjana, you should be able to see your grade. And if you don't see, if where I showed you, go to grade center. If you don't see it there, after the class, send me a message on Teams, or an email, or whatever. Just let me know. Are we
I
good
can
so
see
far?
it. I can see it. I
Sorry?
found it. I thought
You
I
found
thought
it?
the grades were.
You found your
Yes, sir.
grade? Okay, wonderful, wonderful.
So, sir,
Yeah.
exactly where can we find our quiz? Like, I never knew when did the quiz one just popped up, and I just didn't give it. Like, so sorry, sir. I
No, it's
didn't see
fine.
that.
For the quizzes, it's totally okay. But for the quizzes, you will not see. Look, if I now, this is what you see. You just see when you go to quizzes menu. You just see this. No, it's not quiz menu. You just see this quiz 0, which is always there. It's for practice. And the academic integrity declaration. By the way, you can attempt these as many times as you want, but I'm not encouraging you to do that, because my assumption was the fact that you attempted academic integrity declaration, even though some got some failed. But I'm assuming that means we're on the same page. There's not gonna be any, any type of plagiarism or cheating. But when you come back next Sunday, when you come back to this menu, you will see quiz number 2, and you can click on, just like quiz 0. How do you take it? You just click on this. It gives you some instruction. Then click begin and do the quiz. Right? This is the quiz, and at the end, save and submit. Uh, you don't see it now. You don't see quiz 2 because it just opens in that time window. So every week, the deadlines are fixed. We are not changing anything. Sunday night, by 12 a.m., you have to submit your activities. And from Sunday 1 p.m., and all these times are Eastern time, Toronto time. So if you're in a different time zone, you have to convert it for yourself. All these times we're talking are EST. So in that time window, from Sunday 1 p.m. To Monday 1 p.m., if you come here, click on quizzes, you'll see quiz 2 anytime during that 24-hour. You can attempt the quiz, and you will see the, I guess you can attempt, well, I have to set it to once. So you'll be able to attempt it once. You will see all the questions in one page. And for those who have already taken quiz 1, they know what I'm talking about.
What the?
Yeah, are we good with quiz issue thingy? Are we okay with this?
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Okay, great. And of course, for the activity, you have to go to course documents, and course documents. Now again, you don't see activity one because the deadline for that has passed, and this has been this doesn't show anymore. But for activity, you can start as soon as our class ends. Typically, I make it visible to students half an hour after our class ends. I upload the assignments, like I mean activity and everything, course material, slides, everything. You have all the material, and typically half an hour after our class ends, basically you can start reviewing the slides and start your activity. Anytime by Sunday night, you can submit your activity. Some activities are easy, like you will see activity 2 is probably much easier than activity 1. So I'm expecting people to submit it even earlier. But it's up to you. You have the whole time is for you. You can do it whenever you want and submit by Sunday night. And that's for activities. So two fixed things we have. Always start your activity as soon as class finishes, uh, and submit by Sunday night, and review class material. Get ready for the quiz on Sunday or before that, anytime you want, and attempt quiz anytime from Sunday 1 p.m. to Monday 1 p.m. Are we good with all this? This should
Yeah, I
be
got it.
all. Okay. Um, let me just get confirmation from all of you. Start a poll. Are we good so far with activities and quizzes and where to check grades and all that? If you say no, I'm gonna ask why you said no. Please go ahead. Okay, we have one no. Heidi, what do you have any question? What is not clear about the quiz activities and everything that we've talked so far?
Hello.
Heidi, yeah, you there?
Yes, I found the quiz but I couldn't find the activity.
The activity, you have to go to my documents here, my documents, and you will see activity 2. Everything has a deadline. uh, Activities and quizzes. Activity, you will see activities here about half an hour after our class finishes, until Sunday night. So you don't see anything here, but half an hour after our class today uh, ends, you can come here, click on course documents. You will see activity 1. Then you can download course material from there. And by the way, oh, good question, good question. I'm course documents. I guess I have to put course documents separately, huh? That's a good question. Now, last week I put lecture notes and activity zip folder that was zipped, all in activity 1 material. Now I realize that you don't have, if you didn't download those slides, you don't have access. So I'll create a separate part for this, but there's nothing will change for activities. Activities, uh, click on course documents. You will see activity here. half an hour after class ends until Sunday night. Quizzes, click on quizzes. You will see quiz number 2 when? Sunday, 1 p.m. Until Monday 1 p.m. And quizzes become invisible to you. They're not available after Monday 1 p.m. But for activity, you have Monday as well. So you can submit on Monday, but that will come with 20% deduction penalty. So if you couldn't you submit your activity by Sunday night, you will still have Monday, but bear in mind that that will result in 20% deduction penalty because of late submission. But after Monday, you will not be able to submit anything. Actually, you will not be able to, that link will not be there even. Now, one more time, are we good with this?
Oh, sir, I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Victor, please.
So, for the activities, after today's class, are we doing activity 1 or 2?
You're doing activity 2. Activity
So,
1 was
activity 1,
last
is
week.
it done by last week?
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
That's correct. So
I
every week we discuss some new topics, and the
right.
activity related to that topic starts right away. Like half an hour after we discuss that topic, you will see the activity related to that, and you have to work on the activity and submit by the following Sunday.
I think I've missed the activity 1. I'm sorry about that. So, is there anything I can do with it?
Not at this time, but don't worry. That will be one of those activities that is missed by you. You have one more chance to ruin one more activity or miss one activity, but after that, everything else will count. So we said that 2 quizzes will be thrown away, 2 activities will be thrown away. Those will be the activities or quizzes that you missed for any reason, or the activity or quizzes with the lowest mark.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
Great. Wonderful. Okay, I think we're all good for a start. One more question I have. So I saw 2 people said they are not yet in Teams. Please go ahead and join Teams. The other thing is, how about Visual Studio? Please say no if you have not yet installed Visual Studio. Please say no if you have not yet installed Visual Studio. Jeet, you said no. Is it because you're on Mac and you're using Xcode?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir. I am using Xcode.
Okay. Well, that is not recommend. Xcode is wonderful. I've seen people do coding on Xcode, and that's fine, totally fine. But in terms of adjusting the material with Xcode, it may be difficult for yourself. I'm totally fine with that. The solution we suggested was to basically install Windows also using virtual machine. But if you prefer to be on Xcode, that's totally fine. Let me see. I don't see any other no, which means we're all set and we're all good. Wonderful, wonderful. Today, okay, any questions so far? No.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Great. Great. We're gonna go over activity 1 first. And activity 1 is here. Activity 1. I had in mind to ask couple questions. For today, we can accept volunteers, but from next week, there is this possibility that I can select random people. This big blue button gives me the option to select random people, and we will select random people, will open their submission, and they have to give explanation to the answers that they have submitted. So be ready, please, for that, because the assumption is when you are answering a question, either right or wrong, it doesn't matter. What matters is you know what you have written and can be able to justify that. Your answer may be wrong or right. That's totally fine. But you should be able to give some more details why your answer is this, why your answer is not that, things like that. But for today, we will accept volunteers. Some of those brave knights, we want to take out your sword and answer these questions. All right, and I guess I'm gonna change activity. Okay, activity 1. Activity 1, I think, had so many things to learn. Please let me know if you cannot see activity 1. Obviously you cannot see activity 1. Activity 1. Okay, here. Do you see activity 1?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there we go. Activity 1. This started with just simple questions. We wanted to know what operating system you're using and what kind of code editor you're using. And here, basically, question 2 was where you saved your file and the full path for your source code. It could be there was no right answer, but if you said on Windows, then the file path is with backslash. You can just click here, and you could just simply click here and paste it on your activity. Well, obviously not for this file, but for the this could be why didn't this paste? I'm copying from here, pasting here. Oh, I think you cannot paste. All right, no problem. But anyways, it could be something like this: OneDrive, then again backslash, hello world.c. If it wasn't like your OneDrive root folder. But for people who are using Mac or using Linux, for instance, it could look something like this. Wow, my keyboard shortcuts don't work. That's an issue. Guys, I guess I have to let me see. Yeah, it doesn't work. I have to restart everything, but don't worry. So for Linux or something, you should see Linux or Mac. You should see this. Hello world, blah blah. Well, actually, some folder here, some folder before that, like your name, right? It could be your name, and then / hello world.ca. So for this, everybody got full mark. But everybody got full mark. Yes, for this one, we had no problem. The only thing that you needed to know was that / and / difference. / is for Windows path, and everything else uses /. Then question 3: what is the hello world .c file? Well, obviously, what we wrote here was include. I'm writing here just to show you. You had to just copy paste the code here. IO stream. Oh, sorry, this is for C++. stdio.h, and then come down here. And now I'm gonna talk a little bit about what these things mean. Int main. Some people put void here. Some people put void here, which is totally fine. I'll tell you if it makes any difference or not. And it was just printf. Then you're welcome. Whatever. Welcome to class. Okay. And then semicolon, and then return 0, or you could print more things here, and then close the brackets. This was simply what we expected. Now, can anybody explain, if you have previous knowledge on C programming, what does this line mean? Can anybody tell me what this line means? Include stdio. Why do we write this line? Himanshi, go ahead, please. We cannot hear you.
This includes printf in it.
Yeah, so why do we need to include such a thing?
For showing the output.
It's very noisy. So probably you want to say this is the in C programming. Basically, we have very limited functionality, and the strength of C programming comes with its libraries. So this is one of those libraries, a standard input-output libraries header file. And by that we mean it's just something ready, library in the library ready for you, and you go there and you just include that, so that when you write something related to printing stuff, or later scanning stuff and reading something that the user is entering, can be done. If you don't include this, if you just comment it out, the compiler will complain about printf. It wouldn't understand printf. So these include things are basically telling the compiler to include these libraries for more functionality. Some people put void here, int main void. This is totally fine if you put or you don't find anything there, because by default, main is a function that the compiler knows there is no input. So this is a function in C. This is a function. This is the type of variable that this function will return after it finishes its task. And this is the type of variable or argument that is being passed to it. Because the main function is the very first function that gets executed in C programming, everybody knows, the compiler knows, everybody knows that nothing can be passed. So if you don't put void there, that's also totally fine. It compiles well and runs. And then you just send these characters one by one to the output. Since the output of the program here was console, you could see this on the console program. I'm going to give you more details on what a compiler is. What is the difference between building? What is compiling? What is building? What is running? What is executing? Why do I see that many files after I build my solution? Stuff like that. We will cover some of those today. But this was basically what expected from you with this optional void here. Both, if you put it there or you don't put it, both are correct. This was what expected from you in question 3. Khushi, you have a question?
No, sir, it was by mistake.
Okay. Very good. Many people couldn't get this question right. So I'm going to explain this. In this question, basically, you had to go to the activity work files, and we had 4 files, 4 different files here. These 4 different files come with wrong extension. And by the way, if you don't see the extension yet, when you open, you see for all of them, you see LunaMath without this extension, BMP, HTML, blah, blah. You have to go to View and click on File Name Extension. So Windows knows it has to show you the file extensions as well as their name. If you check this, you will see the extensions, and if you clear this, now I cleared it, you don't see the extensions. This should be checked, and keep it checked so that we always see the extensions. It's a good thing to see. Now, we said that how you can, the question said, okay, now you have 4 files, but the extensions for them are wrong, because you can easily change the extension as well as you can change the name. So I can say BM. It will complain, but it will allow me, sorry, I had to say yes. It will complain, but it will allow me to change my extension. Now, BM, you can change extension just like you can change the name of a file. So it's a big issue, right? That's why inside the file there is also a clue for you. For the Windows doesn't understand that, but there is a clue for you and for the application that it's going to be opened with, what kind of file I am. So let me change it back to BMP. And okay, if it is BMP, the default for this on my Windows would be a program that opens figures, because BMP by default is figure. I don't see anything here. All right, so it says, it gives a message. It appears that we don't support this file format. Obviously, because the file format, the information inside this file is something else. It's not a real BMP file. It's just a wrong extension. Another option for you to do was to go open open a Firefox page or whatever page. You could open this and you could just simply drag it over there, and you will see some gibberish. The image file, blah blah, it's error. So all these mean that you don't have a correct extension for your file, and you have to find a way to fix that. A way to fix that is this. Okay, one way to fix that is this. You can open this using Notepad. You can open any of these files with Notepad. Now I have Notepad++. That's also fine. But you can open in Notepad. I'm opening Notepad++. Let's see what we see here. All right. Everything is readable. Everything looks like a good text. So whenever you open an image file, you should see some gibberish. You open in Notepad++ or any other text editor, basically. The fact that you see a readable text, it means this probably is a text. So this is the clue for that. So you just go there, change it to text. Oops! This is the thing that happens when you have two same names and two same extensions. Well, actually, this is about something else. But if I click it now, this is the complaint that was complaining about. Hey, be careful! You're about to change an extension. That's dangerous. Are you sure you want to change this? I said yes. I want to change this. And the second error message notification I receive is, do you want to rename to LunaMoth 2? Because everybody knows you cannot have a file with the same name and a same extension in one directory, right? They can be in two separate directories. So one thing you could do here would be to say yes. I want to save it lunamoth2.txt, and then the rest will be okay. Now I don't have any. See, even the preview came out correctly. So if you just double click on this, okay, it opens up. The text is fine. Life is good. You were able to change the extension. Another way, so I'm basically answering question 5 and 6 together. Another way to do this was to give it, now that I cannot give the same name and the same extension, one way could be given a different name, not LunaMoth, as Windows suggested LunaMoth 2. I said yes, go ahead. Another way can be using an incorrect extension, but we know what we are doing. We know this is text, and later we're gonna change this. So I'm saying okay. I know text 1 is not correct, but at least that gives me a clue that this is a text file, and later I can change things, and I can change this one to text.txt, and I can see it correctly. Other files. Now let's see what this is. Now this is a .txt, but when we open this, it's a gibberish file. We don't understand anything. So this can be an application for so many things. If you have an AutoCAD file, if you have a Photoshop file, name it. You can have so many things, so many files that have been created with so many applications. And if you open that file using Notepad or Notepad++ or any text editor, you will see gibberish. So how do I know what kind of file it is? That's when this very first characters come and play. This is basically the signature of this file that is telling you what application you should use to open it correctly, and it gives you exactly the extension. Where? So if you go back to the extension, the activity instructions here, there is a link that opens a okay. I'm kind of suffering from slow. It's at the same time recording video locally, and at the same time I'm running multiple applications. So here, find absolute path here in this activity. When it's talking about this, it's find. Oh no. Where is it? Where is the link? This is part 1. Okay, I think it is in part 2. HTML markup, list of signatures. There we go. So I'm clicking on this, and this opens up a Wikipedia page that you don't see yet, but you will see soon. Yeah, this opens up this Wikipedia page that tells exactly what kind of gibberish you should see as a signature if you open the file with the text editor. So these are all gibberish files you will see. For instance, let me find something that is so ICO, for instance. This is an icon. So if you icon is a file, right? So if you right click on that and open that with the text editor, the null SOM null, this is what you will see as a signature at the very beginning. For a GIF, for instance, if that is a GIF file and the extension is not correct, if you open with the text editor, you will see this. For a JPG file, okay, now we know what it is. It looks like the thing JPG. Does this signature look familiar to you? If I go back to the file that I opened, lunamask.txt, does this signature, I cannot even read this. What is it? Something. Does this signature look familiar when comparing that to this page, people? It's exactly the same thing. So doesn't that tell you the correct extension for that is JPG? It probably tells you. So you go here now, closed. You have to close this. You go here and change the extension from text to JPG, right? For that, I can name this something else. No, let's do it 2 so that I can change this to lunamask.txt. Should be lunamask.jpg, and I enter OK. And now if I open this, if I double click on this, I open this. This shows the image perfectly fine. We're good, and we were able to change the extension, correct the extension. Same applies to this .jpg, when you open this .jpg, what you will see is an HTML tag. You will see an HTML tag here. So obviously this everybody, almost everybody did right. So HTML tag, all right, this tells me that this is an HTML file. I need to rename it to HTML, and the only thing that remains is this HTML. Now you open this with the text editor. Again, you see gibberish here. Okay, the clue is, look at the signature. This is my signature at the very beginning. So can I find this signature on my list on Wikipedia, the link? Well, probably I will, because this is a complete list of things. BMP, let me just look for BMP. There we go. So BMP comes with BM. The signature is these two characters, BM. The rest is the information that has been embedded in that file. Now I'm confident this should be a BMP file. So I'm changing this to BMP, and let's go correct this to text, and no clash anymore here. I can get rid of that too. I'm good with all these files. Now all these files have the correct extension. This is how you do it, and this is very useful. If somebody gives you a file that you don't know what application you have to, with what application you have to open that. So this way you open the file in a text editor, and with that signature, compare it online, and figure out what application that can be. Are we good with this part so far? We need more people. Great, great. Still more people. Okay, wonderful. The other question, so I guess there's no question here. The other question, so here we said that what happens when you put that in a Firefox. We saw what happened. We just saw errors, we saw errors basically. And then we realized that there is something wrong with that file, came here. How did we figure out what the correct extension for that is? We opened that in Notepad. We saw the text, we saw the signature, we saw HTML, and that's how we knew this text is not correct, and this has to be, for example, lunamath.jpg or whatever. And 6 is how you rename that. So here we wanted you to say, okay, how you rename that. So for me, if I wanted to complete this, the way I did this was, okay, I renamed it to Lunamath 2, because I accepted the what Windows suggested, dot txt. Or another solution I gave you, if you did that, you could say Lunamath txt1, and then what? Rename this to what? This to what? This to what? You could give this question 6 was kind of, I know, was maybe tricky. Many people lost marks here because they didn't give the correct steps of their renaming. Question number 7, what does this experience tell you about the importance of, okay, it tells me that this, many people got correct. This tells me that extensions are important when it comes to showing the content of that file. Nothing changes in that file. That file is safe and secure. You can change the extension to a wrong thing, to a gibberish thing. Basically, this is one of the ways. Have you ever tried to attach an executable file? They come with .exe executable files. Have you ever tried to attach that to your Gmail and send it over to a friend? Has anybody done that before? An executable file, like an executable file for a software. I'm asking you, for instance, I'm saying, Juraj, can you send me the executable file of your code or the executable file for some software? If you haven't done, please go ahead and try that. Gmail, there's no way that Gmail will let you do that. Even if you zip that file, Gmail will complain, will say, this is an executable file. I cannot attach this. I cannot send this because I don't know. This can't be any harming file to anybody. So I'm not going to attach it. I'm not going to send it. One way to basically to be able to send this, one way to bypass this is to change the extension. Just put some nonsense there. Gmail doesn't know what this file is. It sends over. You tell your friend, okay, now if you got your file, it's not this nonsense. You have to change the extension to something meaningful. Change it to ICO, for instance, or whatever. And you will be able to go ahead, install the software or run the program. Are we good so far? If there is any question, just don't wait. Ask any question that comes to your mind. And in part 3, the question was about working with drives while doing common file and directory operations, mainly targeting what happens if you drag and drop a file inside. You want to drag and drop to a folder that is inside the same drive that is your active drive you are in, or if you try to put it somewhere else. I could use my flash memory, so let me show you this first. If I have a folder here and I want to drag and drop this lunamath.html into my folder while I'm doing left click. Okay, this is left click, mouse left click. First of all, it gives you you see the option, the text here. It says move to new folder. If at the same time, without releasing the left key, I press copy. You see now I'm pressing copy. Sorry, not copy. I'm pressing Control key on my keyboard. I'm pressing Control key, and it immediately changes move to copy. So this way you have an option to either copy this file to the new folder, which means if I do this, I will see the file here, as well as I will still have the file in the original path. Or if I want to move this, if I want to move this, no control key, and the default is to move. When the folder is in the same drive that you are moving these files, the default option is move. So as you saw, I just moved it here. lunamath.bmp is here, and there is no lunamath.bmp anymore here. So together, all these could answer question 8. If it is a different folder on the same drive, the answer would be it will move it. So you will not be able to see the source, the original file and the original path anymore And the other one is control key. What can this control key do while you're doing this drag and drop? Control key can give you an option to either copy or move. And what happens if we do this the same thing using right click? That's mostly what you do, because now if I do now it is with right click, and as soon as I release right click, it gives me a lot of options, particularly copy option and move option. So if I say copy here, it will copy my file lunamas.txt in that folder, and I'll still be able to see my lunamas.txt file in the root, right? It is being copied and I'm good to go. For the other one, again, right click gives me much like more options. You can either compress the file or cancel or whatever. And that is the answer to question number 10. So basically it gives you the option to do more things. It gives you the option to copy or move or zip or other options to cancel your action. Question 11, if it is a different drive, like USB drive, right now I don't have a USB, but if you do it exactly, repeat the same thing, drag and drop a file from your working folder to a USB, the default action is copy. Why? Because computer knows it is USB is none of its native drives, and it knows that if it moves something there, there might be it might be dangerous of losing the file, losing the original file. That's why the default is set to copy. Okay, so no problem. I'll copy this file to your USB drive, but I will also keep the source because I know this is a removable source, and I'm not. I want my file. I want to have my file, but I will give you a copy of that. Are we good with all these things so far? If you say no, that means you have a question that you should ask.
Excuse me, sir.
Sanjana, go ahead. Sanjana, go ahead, please. Yes.
Will we also be discussing the quiz? Because I have a question in there.
Quiz, yes. We will, after this, I will discuss the quiz, and then we will have a maybe 10-minute or 15-minute break. And after that, we will go through the slides of this week. Would that work
All
for
right. Thank you. Yes, thank you, sir.
Wonderful. Okay. Many people are good with this so far. Great. Thank you so much. By the way, guys, I really love that you're answering, because otherwise I would be speaking to myself in an empty room. You could go enjoy your time. You could play wonderful games instead of sitting here and listening to my nonsense. You could watch a YouTube video. You could watch a movie. The only thing that makes the thing different, a different experience, and hopefully helps you and me learn better, is this interaction. So I really appreciate it. Sit there, listen and interact, answer my polls, ask questions, and that's what we want. And by the way, if you want to leave, if you have to leave, have a short break, you can set your status by clicking on there is this if you look at the users on the left side. Let me see if I can how can I yeah, here. Oh, pause recording. No, I don't want to pause this recording. I want to change my screen for now, show screen 2, so that you can see there is this here you can, oh wait a second, see you can set let me see, If I click on this, yeah, you left click on yourself. You left click on yourself. Well, I'm left clicking on myself. It there is this option, set status. So click on this. It gives you a lot of status options. I like this. If you're sad about what I'm saying, if you're happy, maybe you can react with that. Undecided is totally fine. Don't raise your hand because I most probably will not see. Just ask your question. Thumbs ups are good. I like them. Thumbs down also good. Okay. And what I wanted to say is this away status. If you want to go away, go just 2 minutes and come back. Set this to away, please, so that I know you're away. And if I'm about to select a person, a random person, also big blue button will not consider those people who are away. But if you are there, don't set to away. Okay? If you're there, don't do that. Let's have an interactive class. Wonderful. And again, let's go back to our activity. Going back. So after deleting these two questions were very well answered by everybody. I guess a lot of you have suffered losing some data. So you really knew this. Obviously, we have this recycle bin. When we delete, it goes there. If we do shift delete, it goes nowhere. And by the way, can somebody explain to me what happens when we shift delete a file? But what happens, what happens in your storage device? What happens there? Does it just like go nowhere, or like Windows goes and cleans the data or cleans the address that it links the data? Or does anybody know about these things? Can anybody just unmute themselves and talk about it? What happens hardware wise? What happens in real world, in reality, when we do a shift delete? We know what happens when we delete things. It's just a move from your folder to the recycle bin. Recycle bin is a space, is a folder, is a special folder, so it keeps the storage. Your file is still there. But what happens when I do shift delete?
Sir, the files get deleted permanently from the PC or a laptop.
Can you give more explanation what you mean by will be deleted from your laptop or your computer? Can you tell me what happens in the hardware? Let's talk storage device. Let's talk hard drive. Let's talk SSD. Your computer has a storage area. It has a storage place. Either it's your hard disk drive or it is your solid state drive, right? What happens if I was able to go back there, to go inside that, see what happens there?
The hard drive just writes as if it was deleted, but it's technically still there, I think.
Eduardo.
No?
Yes, exactly. That's what happens. So if I can draw something here, let me choose paint. So this is what happens, and actually it's interesting to know, I guess. So here, imagine this is your hard drive. Wow, what a nice hard drive. Sorry. Sorry about that. This is your hard drive or your solid state drive, whatever. This is your storage device. Okay? Please forgive me for this wonderful handwriting and all that. It's kind of fun. Here, storage has so many different parts. This storage device, you can imagine it is divided to different parts. So first, it starts with drives. It's C, it's D, it's E, whatever, blah blah. And inside C, again, it gets divided to two different sections, to two very specifically different sections. One of them is the address part. The other one is the data part. So it is segmented. Every drive is segmented into many of these address and data sections, subsections. As the name shows, the address keeps. So let's say I'm saving Hamed.c. Okay, Hamed.c. Where am I saving this? We have a lot of addresses here. We have a lot of places here in the data. So very simply, it's not like that. These are all hexadecimal codes. You will see. But let's talk very simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 places here. Okay, 5 places. When I want to, yeah, question? Simrat, do you have any question? No. When Windows wants to save a file, it sends it sends a query to the hard disk's firmware. Hamed.c gets there, and the firmware automatically selects one of these places. Let's say it selects place number 3 here. It gets selected by the firmware. Then in the address, what is written here in the address by the firmware is Hamed.c is in place number 3. This is what gets written here, and the data itself, whatever is inside this file, gets written here. So it gets written here. So now I have my data here, and I have the address here. Every time Windows wants to read Hamed.c, which is a C programming file, obviously, it asks the firmware to read the file, take the file out, send it over to Windows, and the first place that the firmware goes is where Hamed.c is written. This is the important part. So if it finds anything, if the firmware finds this Hamed.c, finds this Hamed.c that is located in C, it goes here, reads the data, and then sends it to the operating system. But if this thingy here, if this address doesn't exist, it just simply says, OS, sorry about that, there is no such file. There is no such file. Okay? And it assumes there is no such file. So imagine when we want to do shift delete, basically what happens. Let's see what happens when we do delete. When we do delete, address changes from drive C, and let's assume this is my recycle bin. This is my recycle bin. So here, when you click delete, address Hamed.c is here 3. It gets copied. The address gets copied to the recycle bin. So when Windows comes back to this place, it sees there is nothing. So the file is empty. You don't see it in your folder. Life is good. It goes on. But if you go to your recycle bin, you will see there are some files. These are the addresses that are copied in the recycle bin and show that where the file is. That's why if you do if you do restore this file from recycle bin, what Windows does is just, by Windows, sorry, Mac guys, Linux guys, don't be mad at me, I mean operating system. Operating system just copies this address from here to the location that it was before. Obviously, there is a lot of complications, but we are talking simple. It copies there. It's as if, and when you go back to the folder, you see the file there. It has been restored, but nothing happens to the data. And imagine if every time you had to move the data, thousands of bits had to be read and written, and that is really not efficient. storage devices by themselves are already slow. They are not even close in speed to RAM or cache later, which is inside the CPU. But anyways, these are already slow. We don't want to make them even more slower by putting extra burden on them. So it just does this. Yeah, Sanjana, question?
Yes, sir. Actually, it's kind of unrelated to the course, I
Yeah,
think.
but you will.
But
Yeah,
but
of
it's
course.
related to storage event. Yeah. So from my previous laptop, I had the hard drive removed and cased. And when I plug it in to this one to see the data, I see all the pictures, videos, etc., etc. But I don't see my Word files or the documents that are there.
Is it connected to the, like, are you mounting this to the same operating system, or it's coming from like a Mac coming to a Windows or some other operating system?
No, it was Windows. And my laptop now, it's Windows as well.
So give me more details, maybe later. Let me finish this. You can give me more details. Text me on Microsoft Teams, because you need to explain why you remove that and like how you remove that. You need to give me more details. Otherwise, I cannot give you a good guess. Would that work
All
for
right,
you?
sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, great. Uh, and okay, so this is what happens for the delete. Sorry for my drawing, but I guess you get this. This is important. And with shift delete, it doesn't copy the address to recycle bin. It simply gets rid of this. This is what happens in shift delete. That is why some software might be able to restore shift deleted devices, as was the case in your activity, as was the question in your activity for USB. Are we good with this driving and what I said so far?
Yes, sir.
Are we good with this? Guys, please reply to me this poll. By the way, I promise you I'll draw a better chart later. I'll try to use MS Word or something like that. Okay. Great. So that is the reason when you come to this question. So now we know in detail what happens when we do delete and we do shift delete. And when a thing is deleted, its address is copied from that drive address section to the recycle bins address part, so it can easily be restored. You just need to go there. You just need to tell Windows, okay, I want my file back. Please get back my address. Please write it back to where it was, and life is fine. You have your file back. Everything is restored. But it doesn't happen with external devices. When you delete a file in your external drive, the address doesn't get copied to that recycle bin. It just deletes the address. But that is the point. It just deletes the address. Operating system deletes the address of that file that resides in your USB, not the data. So if you can have a smart software that can guess from the content of the data. Let's go back to here. So here, if the software is smart enough to look at the data here and guess what type of file it is and what could be possible address for this, it can still make this visible, and that's why most data recovery softwares do when you lose your data on your USB, because the data is already still there, but you just need a smart enough software to take it back for you. Wonderful. Thank you so much. So 24 people said that they're good with this part. Okay, a little bit of deep into hardware part, which I find interesting most of the time. If you have a deep understanding of what's going on hardware,
Sir.
Yeah, Victor.
So before we go to part 4, the part 3 question, the shift delete, is it? I just want a confirmation. Is shift delete? It's gonna permanently delete a file.
It doesn't delete the data. It just deletes the address permanently. What happens? Shift deletes this address permanently, but it doesn't touch the data. The data is still there. But what happens is basically when if there is an address, if there is something here, operating system considers this location 3 occupied. But if there is no address here, as happens during shift delete, because there is no address, it's as if you are giving back this whole place back to Windows and keep some garbage there, right? Your data is there, but it becomes a garbage without this address. So operating system considers now when there is no address, operating system considers this an empty space again, even though your data is there, like in bitwise it is written, zeros and ones are still there, but since there is no address, it means this memory is not allocated anymore, and
Right.
an operating system considers that garbage.
So follow up with my question: if shift delete is only delete the address and not the data, so the computer will still have the data inside there, right? And then is there a way
Yes
to
and
also
no.
is there a way to also delete the data to make
There is.
sure that the file is entirely gone inside the system?
There is. For that, you cannot just apply that to a file, or not the way that I know, but you can format a drive. Formatting is just doing that.
Oh, okay, I see that. All right.
If you format your drive, it goes one by one to the bits and clears all those to 0, or not 0. We're talking simple. Every operating system has its own protocol, and basically, but formatting, what happens is that you also lose that data.
So for answering the assignment questions to permanently delete a file, we shift delete a file and then also format the computer?
No, not really. That was a good question, but no, actually, we were not expecting you to say so and to do so, especially. Permanently deleting is shift delete, because actually unless you have a software installed, customized for that purpose, to go deep in your hard disk and see what file is where, what kind of file it is, restore those addresses. For operating system, it's not possible to find the file and show you the file.
Yeah, recover it. Yeah. All right.
Recover.
Sounds clear to me. Thanks.
Wonderful. Any other questions so far? No? Okay. Part 4 is also a fundamental part necessary for every person that has some file that wants to keep. I guess that means everybody, because even if you're not a programmer, even if you're not an expert in some field, at least you have some photos that you want to preserve and you don't want to lose those. For this part, basically different students answered different questions. They answered differently each of these questions, and everything was acceptable, but I want to show what I prefer you to do and what I suggest you to do. Backupping files is, in the good old days, you could use a USB or an external drive, or a CD, even a DVD, to back up your file. So every week, every day, depending on how your files were growing and were changing, you had to take a snapshot, right? And for that, we had softwares, like we had Alcohol 120%. This was the name of the software. I know if you guys have seen that. Or Clone. Clone was one of those softwares. It could snapshot, basically take a snapshot of your hard disk and write everything in one single file, and burn it to a CD or a DVD or USB or your external drive. Many students, by the way, answered this that they do backup every week or every 2 weeks, and they use their USB or their external hard drive. I used to that too. There are pros and cons for that, which takes us to question number 16. Number 15, I will get back to this in a second, but there are pros and cons for storing your files, taking your backups in a flash memory or in an external drive. Can somebody tell me what's bad about it? Let's first start with the bad things about it. Can somebody unmute and explain what he or she thinks is bad if we keep our files, backup of our files on a USB or on a external drive, on an external drive?
You could lose it or damage it.
Exactly. This is one of those things. You could lose it or damage it. It's a USB flash memory. You can lose it anytime, or you can damage it. What else? Any other idea?
It can get stolen easily, and your data could be accessible to anyone.
Exactly.
Very
That's
easily.
exactly wonderful. That's another big problem. What if you have some files in there that is private? You don't want to show to anybody. Can easily be stolen. Wonderful. What else? There is still more to it.
You need to manually update it.
Exactly. That's another pain. You have to sit down, figure out what files you have a backup for, what files you don't have backup for, zip them, write them. It's not easy. Wonderful. Thank you. What else? Probably one more problem with this. Can anybody think of one more problem?
And like
I think there's like a limit.
Limit? Yeah, of course. That's another limitation, basically. USB is limited. External drive is limited. How many external drives do you want to buy in 10 years or 20 years? And where do you want to keep them? That's another problem. Wonderful. One more thing still. Can anybody think of one more problem?
Okay, the problem I faced was I could not access to several of my files when I retracted.
Yes, obviously. Great. Yes, if you don't have your drive with you physically, you have to take it everywhere. Obviously, that's another problem. Great. One more thing is the synchronization issue. You may do backup every day. You may do backup every hour even. But what if I change my code right now, I don't have a backup, and something happens to my computer, something happens to my hard disk drive? well, I don't have a backup because I was waiting for next hour or next day or weekend to take a backup. Now I don't have, everything is gone. I don't have any backup. Best case scenario, I can go back, I can revert everything back to 1 week ago or a day ago or an hour ago, which is impossible, right? Nobody backs up their file every hour, right? Even every day. So the synchronization is also another serious issue. That's why, because of all these problems, that's why a good suggestion is to use Microsoft OneDrive or other backup possibilities, cloud-based possibilities. OneDrive is the best one for you because it's through Seneca you have access to 1 terabyte of OneDrive. So let's see something here. Let me show you my OneDrive. Okay, now, okay, let me just bring it here. Guys, the way you can access OneDrive of your account is just log into your email, Outlook, and here click on different. You can open different type of files. One of them is OneDrive. So if you click on this OneDrive, it opens that space for you. Now in my space, I have all my PCs backed up here. Everything is backed up here. So you can do so many things using this web app, right? What you can, for instance, you can create new type of Microsoft Office type files. You can open, edit, do everything, but it doesn't give you full potential of what OneDrive can do unless you download the app. So it's I suggest you download the app for those who have not downloaded this yet. Download this and install. I have also posted a video on our Microsoft Teams, MS Teams, about how to download and how to install and what capabilities it can give you. This is a YouTube video I really found out interesting. It gives you every single detail, but it basically is this: when you install OneDrive app, this thingy, this icon gets added here. And from here, you can do so many good things. There's a setting here. I'll show you how it works. You can basically, it creates, when you install the app, it creates a folder, and that folder is synced with your online files. So if I go to Microsoft Teams, go to students, here we see I have put this link for you. Please go watch this and use OneDrive. Don't waste that. If somebody wanted to buy that 1 terabyte space, I know it's costly, but through Seneca you have 1 terabyte. Use OneDrive to back up all your files. You don't need to worry about anything. It just gets synced automatically as soon as you change a file. As soon as you change a file, see this? It's like a pumping something. You see this icon? This is every time OneDrive syncs a file. Either the file, my file on the cloud is the newer version, so that gets downloaded, or I'm changing files locally on my computer, and that gets synced with the cloud. And another beautiful thing about this the OneDrive is that you have access to old previous versions. Guys, it's important. If you're online looking at a let me show you, like I'm trying to find something that I have changed. So let me show you here. If you are offline and this status is because everything is synced, everything is being backed up real time. And if you click on this, you will not see this until you install the app, guys. Okay. Then you click on the version history, and version history has all the previous backups. So this was not a good file because I have not changed it. Oh, let's change it now. Okay, now lunamas.txt, I can see history. Okay, 15 minutes ago I changed this file. You can click here, open what you saw there, or I can open this file and clear that line, save it there. See, now status is now it is syncing with the cloud. Now if I click here, click on history, it shows me 52 minutes ago it changed. For files it shows all the history of changing. So if I click on my PowerPoint, I have changed it several times. You see, all these times I have changed and saved. They can be, if you made a mistake, just go here, download this, and you will have the version that you had, I will have the version that I had at 9:19 a.m. For 7 days ago. Isn't that amazing? So please go ahead, watch that video and install the app. That way, peace of mind. You have all the files there, and it has also version control kind of capability that Git has, which is very essential. So the answer for this, if some people didn't do that, so you had to go online for question 15. You had to go online, upload a file, for example a C file, created on your PC, upload it there, and then if you wanted to edit, obviously you could click open in text editor and edit. So editing is possible using web app. Almost anything you can do on your the local machine is possible to do here as well. So I can do this, I can edit this, but it is much better to have the app to unleash the whole capability of the thing. And you could create new things. So question 15, the answer is yes, we can edit and do things online, but it is better to install the app so that we don't worry. Syncing is happening real time and everything. And in number 16, obviously, just for the cases that you don't have access to the internet, you're camping, right? You want to go camping in an off-grid area. There's no internet. That's the time. It's good to have you take your files with you. You write them to a local drive, USB, or maybe from time to time you wanna have a local backup as well, just in case you lose your internet connection. But that's the only case. Other than that, everything with OneDrive or other backup, cloud-based backup capabilities are totally fine and great. And question 17, everybody asked in different ways. I hope after watching this, now everybody's answer to question 17 is I have installed a OneDrive app, and I have a folder that all my files are being synced automatically, but still every 2 weeks or every month, I want to have a local backup. That's why I zip all my files and write it to my external hard drive, which might take 5 hours because I have a lot of files. But still I do that just in case. I hope that that becomes the answer after you watch this video. Very good. For the quiz, any questions so far? Just need to do quiz. Take a quick look at quiz, and we will have 10-minute break. Then we will come back and basically start our new lecture. So close this, and where is it? Okay, very good. Quiz. Quizzes, exit preview. So in quiz, it was easy, wasn't it? Quiz questions were easy. So if we continue, well, obviously you saw different order of these files and different questions sometimes. I guess 2 different questions, but overall these are the questions that we had. So this is a tree demonstration. That demonstration that is in the form of a tree. It has root. It has subfolders. This was an answer to one of the quiz questions. What is a folder called if it is inside another folder? It's a subfolder or subdirectory. Directory is for Linux. For Windows, it's folder. So this is a subfolder. This is a subfolder. Well, actually, this is a folder. This is a subfolder, right? These are
Sir,
subfolders.
I'm only seeing the loading of the Outlook.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Good to know that. Okay, let me share. That's because I have 2 screens, which sometimes. Thank you. Who said that?
It was me.
Eduardo. Thank
Yeah.
you. Please let me know if you don't see what I'm explaining. Do you see this now? The quiz question.
Yep.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, I was explaining this tree kind of demonstration for the path, file path and folder path. So this is the root. These are subfolders or subdirectories. For instance, if I want to write the full path for this index.html, that would be d web for this website / index.html. This would be the HTML. This would be the full path for this index.html. Are we good with this? Ask questions if you have any questions here. Okay, so a volatile memory and non-volatile memory. We
Actually,
Yep. Sanjana,
like,
question.
I read the note. I read the notes, and like, is there a format we have to follow for making a pass?
The format. This table shows you the format. So you see these backslashes. So it is on Windows, but if this was / or there was no D here, basically in Linux, and I guess in Mac we don't have these drives. We just only have one root, so that is dot and then slash. Yeah, you have to follow the format of the table basically, because we have different formats on different operating systems. But for the format, you just need to follow the format that is given in this table.
So we basically just go from left to right?
Yes. That's all you do. You basically type the things you see here, down here, all together, and that makes it a full path.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir.
Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Non-volatile and volatile memories. Volatile memories are those memories that you lose your data as soon as you plug out. No electricity, no data. But non-volatile memories are not like that. The example for volatile memory, like your RAM. random access memory is the main memory in your computer. You lose your data if you shut down your computer. But hard disk drive or solid state drive or your flash memory, these are all kind of memories that can keep your data even if you unplug them. There are more to this, like E2P ROM. If you're kind of making things, embedded things, these are ICs that can maintain the data even if they don't see any, they are unplugged or there's no voltage there. Question 3, file extension. This is what comes after that floating point, basically, people said, and I like that. Name dot that extension, so maximum 5 letters. And what is the purpose? It shows the operating system, what type of file that is, and with what application that should be opened. In question 3, steps. I liked all the steps. I learned a lot from you guys in your answers to question 4. Thank you so much. You said lots of good things, and let's come to the class, do things ourselves. Even if we lose grades, we are not here for grades. We are here for learning. And I like this. This was basically whatever you put there, you got your mark. Question 5, you had to match these. So file is a sequence of symbols organized in a format, right? File is a system hierarchy name, hardware that saves. Let's do other things first. I face some problem here. Mounting. What is mounting? I know this. Mounting is a storage device recognized by an operating system, right? If there is a physical storage device, you connect it, and operating system recognizes that, that's a mounting that basically is known to the hard drive. Storage device is a hardware that saves data persistently. It doesn't lose the data if it is disconnected. Then we have drive. I think it is hierarchically named catalog structure. Directory. Oh, this is for directories and folders. Oh gosh, this question is difficult. Hierarchically named catalog structure. For full path name. And by the way, do we have extension here? No. Full path name. Full path name is uniquely named. This is file. A file is a uniquely named space on a drive. That's what we call a file. Full path name, it's a unique identifier in the file system that basically identifies the file for you. And I guess that's it, right? And data. Data is a sequence of symbols organized in a format. That makes it data. Many people could get some marks from this, including me. I couldn't get full mark from this. But anyways, good to know. What is a directory or folder inside another one? We said it's subdirectory or subfolder. This is the whole stuff we had for the quiz. Are we good now with the quiz? Any questions? Are we good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Okay, now we finished the first section of our lecture. Please, now it is 1:35 in Toronto. Please come back 1:45. 1:45 we will start the new lecture. We'll see you then. Let's see. Hmm? All right. Hello again. Let's first see how many people in here. Are you here? $11 people? People, were you hungry? More people are joining. Still we need more. Please, as soon as you reach your computer, click that beautiful yes button so that we know you're here. $16, come back. Okay, it's 1:45 and I'm gonna start. I think all of you have seen this. You see people using keyboard, you think they're professional, like they're so professional in what they're doing. You like it, right? So basically there is a reason behind that, because using keyboard shortcuts help you do things faster and most of the time more efficiently. A very good example for that many of you might already be familiar. No, Shao, you're not here. How did you say no? The is the Control C and Control V. I think many people use this as instead of right click on mouse, then click copy, click paste. It's just Control C and Control V is very intuitive, and it's much easier than using mouse. This same rule applies to Windows and different applications. The only difficulty is that it is difficult to memorize all of them, but the good news is many of them share the same rules. So if you know the shortcuts, at least important shortcuts for Windows, you most probably they're the same things used in other apps, and there are some rules for that we're going to see some of them. We are going to discuss some of them right now here today. I'm going to show you some of those 18. Still, guys, please come back. We have 19 people joined us, and overall 30 people should be here now. Because I'm going to do something, I'm not gonna make this full screen. It's gonna be like this because I'm gonna show some Windows shortcuts. Please tell me if you don't see it properly. Starting from here. By the way, let me show you one beautiful thing. If you have ever wondered what those F1, F2, F3, F4 to F12 stupid keys, sorry, on the keyboard are, they're basically there for a reason. There are some keys, Alt, Control, Shift, Home, and page up, page down. And for Windows laptops, we have this icon, which is basically it represents the it represents this key, right? So when we are showing this in these slides, it means that key on your keyboard. And if you have a Mac, it is Command. So it is the same equivalent, obviously, with different shortcuts. So one good thing to start is I'm gonna do all these. You will see. So window, for instance, window, and then right arrow. It sets my screen so that it just occupies the right half of my screen. This way I can read something from somewhere else and I can type it. I keep window again, window key and left arrow, it comes back. If I hold window and press up arrow, this will maximize it. And if I do that with the down key, it will first minimize and then minimize the whole file so that you don't see it. And now it's a good point to see how I can select the active window that I want. That is Alt Tab. If you press Alt Tab, you will be able, either by pressing Tab, it will go one by one, and you can. These are all the open windows that I have right now. Or you can use right and left or up and down arrows to select the active one that you want. So for me, it is the PowerPoint, and I'm maximizing that. Again, as you can see, I'm not using mouse, and these are all being done using keyboard only. Very good. The window, if you just press the window, it will open up all the options that you have, or you can type. You can look for a you can do the search here, and you can find your app. You can find your software that you want to open, and pressing the window again. By pressing that window again, you close it. That's basically the start window on your Windows. Window tab. See, now it selects the category of softwares that are available for me. Also, you can use. See, now I'm holding window and tab, and it's basically going from one category of, for instance, Firefox, Chrome goes to Firefox, Notepad. And if I want to select, for instance, if I want to select one of these windows, it's time to select one of these windows. You can simply, what's going on? You can simply use the arrow key. It's opening actually. Every time it's showing a preview. So for this, I might go ahead and do this. Just use one. Share my first screen. Okay. And here, I think I can take this here, bring it here, and take everything else also here. Okay, now I can. I just turned off my second screen. Do you see my screen? Do you see this screen?
Yes, we can see.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Now you should see the PowerPoints now. I guess you see the PowerPoints, right?
Yes.
Wonderful. And let me just double check here. We are recording. Very good. Everything is good. And Alt Tab will show you a preview of basically the category of windows that belong to an application, all in one place.
Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. And then from there you can select the window that you want. Again, one more time. Let me send it down. One more time. Select tab. It shows a preview. You can click on one of them. for instance, this one, you can choose this and it will be shown to you. And if I do this, go ahead and select again this PowerPoint. Controlled by now, if you are you have multiple tabs, by doing Control T, you can create a new one, and also by see, I think. Do you guys see the PowerPoint now?
Yes, sir. I can see the PowerPoint.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Alt space bar, actually, Alt itself. If I click Alt, all the menus, there'll be letters shown under each menu, and by clicking on that one, I can open that menu. So if now I'm clicking A, it goes to animations. Why? Because for A was for animation. So if I press after Alt, if I press S, it goes to S. And inside that menu, now these are all sub menus. I can select any of these. Like I can say, okay, let's go to something less harmful. I can say Edge. It goes to home page. I say, for example, whatever. Like I can say one, and the selected text can become bold there. Always Alt. Always in all programs, almost all programs, by clicking Alt, you will see all the shortcuts possible for the menu. Right, and then if you for the basically for locking your PC, you say Window and L, it locks your PC. Sometimes you want to open a file explorer, it is Window E, it just opens the explorer, and Alt F4 closes that for you. Alt F4 closes the window, and Control F4 closes the tab. So if I say Control F4, it closes the tab, but Alt F4 closes the whole window. Alt F4 closes the whole window for you. Same here, if I say Alt spacebar, and here you see basically the letters that are underlined are the ones that will take place if you click that letter. So if here now Alt space open this for me, and now if I say C, if I press C, it will close it, or say N, it minimizes that. You see, it minimizes. So when you open this, when you go to these menus and for instance, like Alt space here, the underlined letters are the exact same letters that you need to keep on your, you need to press on your keyboard for that thing to take effect. And window R is another important one. Using this basically run dialog box, you can run whatever program you want. Just type the name, press, and that opens up. For instance, I opened up Notepad, and for this one is even more useful. Whenever you want, whenever somebody is approaching and you don't want to show what you see on your desktop, Window D, remember this Window D. Window D basically shows whatever you were seeing in the desktop or hides it. So Window D. Again, press D, it comes and goes, right? Very famous shortcuts are Control X, Control C, and Control V. Control X is for cutting. It looks like a scissor. Control C is for copying, of course, you know. Control V is for pasting. And there is Control Z and Control Y. That Control Z, I know many people use it, is for undo. So if I type something here and if I want to undo that, I press Control Z and Control Y redos that. If you look at here, every time I press Control Z and Control Y, different things happens. When I press Control Z, now redo is active. When I press Control Y, now undo is active because I have already done the redo. Window V is to paste something from clipboard. If you say Control C, the last thing that has been copied to your clipboard, clipboard is a place in memory, right? Just temporary things that you copy, get stored there. And the last thing that has been pushed to clipboard will be pasted if you press